And that leads to here. Okay. So what should I do with this knowledge? Should I go over there or should I go downstairs? I'm gonna go downstairs first. Another spinny dome. You are an eye, but you are not the eye that I seek. And I can't go any further. And I can't really tell if this is the same pattern as the other one. And I can't go any farther. There may be some way of shutting this down by removing power to it. Maybe. Oh, the game. Oh, the game was being rude. And look at that. See? See? I can be taught, though. I can be taught. Close all doors. Too early. Ah, same thing. And it's not 1 through 30, it's 1 through 25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 18, 20, 25. And this is not the answer. Right. Okay. It's, yeah, that, oh, like, okay, so similar to that, one of the few, oh, I don't remember if I actually had to look this up or not, but a long time ago when I played Day of the Tentacle, which is the sequel to Maniac Mansion, it was, again, a very good and very old LucasArts point-and-click adventure game, like Monkey Island or like, you know, other ones that they did. In that, there's a part where you have to, there's different rooms you can go in. You need to go into one of the rooms and close the door so that you can see that there are keys in the doorknob. And then you take the keys and you use the keys to do something. And you can do so much in that game, but eventually one of the puzzle lines requires you to have keys in order to figure out what you're doing next. Alright, so this is an adventure now. Ooh, okay. Did I power this? Something is powered and then that shuts it off. I can't really tell where those wires... That wire goes over there. And this wire goes into there? Sure. Alright, so we have new places to go. That says no. Okay, this only goes back and forth. Still doesn't go in. Fine. Ooh. We've powered these stairs, so we can lower this. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready. What do I want to do first? I don't know. I don't know. Do I really want to go that way? What else is there? Is there something over here? Is there really no way in here? Okay, let's go. Alright, we got a wheel over there. And we got this. Okay, so it's not a trap door. It's a segment that maybe needs to come up here somehow? Doorbell? Doorbell. Doorbell. Yeah, now I'm getting places. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What would have got me to figure out that door thing more on my own? Maybe something like saying that there is... I don't know. This is the star door, right? Yes, it is. So this just leads us back around to here. So I'm not really going places. Going places that I've already been to. Alright, but here we have a wheel. The Wheel of Destiny. Is that all? I wanted to go into the middle. I wanted to go into the middle. How does one go into the middle? Alright, so this is just reconnecting places on the island. Right? There's lots of places that I can go now. There's lots of places that I can get back to. So if I go down here to the place where there is now no thing... Yeah, right here? Right here? I can click this, but I'll get smushed. Maybe I should save. Zoom. The whole thing is an elevator. Standing on this lower section has lowered me downward. Alright. Alright. Another one of these, huh? What did this doorbell do? A drain. Okay. Okay, I'm kind of getting the hang of that timing. Should I be writing down the solution to each of these? Because this is the third one so far. Maybe those shapes actually matter. There's a book inside. The other ones I couldn't really see what was inside. So... like I said, the timing, I'm kind of getting it now. From my, like, as far as my reflexes go, I'm trying to hit it roughly 2 frames early. And it works out just fine. A book. A book. I need 5 numbers from 1 to 25. So there have got to be several of those solutions. Because there's at least 3 of these that I've done. I should have written down the symbols. This one, well, I don't know how I'm going to pay attention to which ones are important. This one was an actual, just the circle with a dot in the middle. Yeah, circle with a dot in the middle. The most you weren't here, and nobody was here except for Serpent. I started off the stream and I walked up to the first one of these that I had found, and I'm like, and you can click on it and it doesn't do anything. I clicked it and it stopped, and I was flabbergasted. Yeah, I've got the system down. I've got it down now. It's a little annoying that it works that way. Also, why couldn't I just run up and grab the book right there? Because I could see it for a second. I've got good timing. We just proved that. Alright. This brings me back up. This is a cave. I don't think I've been to that staircase, so I'm going to leave that power on. I gotta be ready for more Resident Evil jump scares, because now that I've made progress, when I walk out somewhere, there's gonna be some little kid. It's gonna be like, Rah. What else? Was there anything? This isn't gonna help until I actually have that hatch open, I think. Good old Serpent. Old reliable. That German reliability. Okay, so so in a way that was progress, but in another sense I am still well, no. I have something to do now. Now I will go. Oh, wait a second. Can I? This is here. Right? This is here. I believe I can now get somehow. If I don't get lost. How am I ever gonna get over there? Okay, that's that. Here it is. Okay. This is where I walk across a bridge that spans the two continents. Oh, and look, there's language that if I knew it, I could read it. Anything else to see? Okay. So there's that still. Hunter Biscuit is dropping in for a lurk. Hello. Exciting times over here. We're walking around an island in complete silence and not figuring anything out without help. Oh, whoops. That leads back to there. So now if I go... Boop 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 doo 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 doo. Actually, it's Monday. Did you just stream? You usually stream on Mondays, right? Or am I imagining things? So now that I'm back here, if I go over here... Why is it here? Continuity errors. I think it should be gone. That's just my opinion. Okay, so let's go look at this dome again. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. You just spontaneously retconned into someone's following you. Okay. So this one here was... I have to... with a line down, sure. And where was the third one? Oh, it was inside. Inside. Yeah, why did I come all the way back here? Do 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 do. Skip, skip, skip. No, other way. So what was inside this one? Can I... This one also has a book inside. Okay, maybe they all have books. Oh, now I have to go back and think about every single door that I've opened. So I shouldn't label that one book. I should label this one, what do I call each of these? So that one's easy enough to label. This one is close enough to the frog catcher. We'll label it frog. This... I still don't know how are we going to get in here? Maybe we have to open that from the other side. Also, really want to know what this does. If I shut it off, what gets changed? Something on the other side of this mountain. I can't think of what that would be. I don't know spatially where we are. Oh, is it the fan? Is it this fan? Did we finally turn off this fan? We did! And it let us go in. I can't believe it was the fan. That's just fan-fucking-tastic. Har, har, har. This is now unlocked, which is good, because it means now we can get a breeze going in here. Five-sided. All right, I get it. Okay. It's reading time. I can't believe it was off. You turned it on the last trip? Did I? No. Did I? No. Maybe. February. Oh, should I write some of these dates down? I forgot to write down the... these are 87. So this is a journal entry from about 5 years ago. February 13th, 82. The latest ink formulation has proven a failure. Even when writing in my most promising books, I obtain only the barest glimmer of a connection. It is frustrating to expend so much effort creating a blank book only to end up destroying it when it doesn't work. There are days when the lab is uncomfortably warm from the flames of these failed attempts. The further I refine each element, the formulations of the inks and papers, the physical dimensions of the books, the more I realize that the list of potential combinations is nearly infinite. It is during moments like these that I despair. Without access to Denny, my long-term goals may never be accomplished. Nevertheless, there are avenues of research which remain to be explored. May 8th, 82. I am discontinuing regular observations of the stars beneath the fissure. Stars. Stars beneath the fissure. We know about the star fissure a little bit. I don't know where it is. Although I've been able to track the dark, cloud-like formations that migrate through the star field and have proven that their paths are cyclical, without proper instrumentation it is pointless to continue. My general theory concerning the nature of the fissure has remained unaltered since it first appeared. His theory concerning the nature of the fissure. It seems that the fabric of this age has been breached in a way that permits matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces, much like a link, but the apparent physical contradictions surrounding this juncture defy logical reason. The great column of wind that was formed when the fissure first appeared suggests a vacuum as one might expect in space, yet my early experimentations revealed the presence of a breathable atmosphere. That Atris and Catherine threw themselves into the void is further evidence that it might be safe to travel, but without knowing its true nature, I cannot take the risk myself. It is also difficult to say what would happen if I were to reopen it after so long, but it is likely that the results would be catastrophic, given the changes that have occurred in this age since that time. Maintenance on the steam vent caps completed. 83. February 10th, 83. I am extremely pleased with the continued success of this system. I believe the construction to have been true to the Denis designs of my memory, another example of the superiority of Denis technology. It's ironic that Atris and Catherine unwittingly provided me with such a convenient source of power. Alright, we already had some idea of how these worked. I didn't realize that they were geothermal. I thought it was some kind of a... I don't know what. As with many of my views over the years, my thoughts regarding the origin of the fissure have changed. I have recently begun to wonder whether it was actually an unexpected byproduct of the changes Catherine and Atris wrote into this age during their escape. Certainly, by casting their linking book into the void, they trapped me here quite effectively, but I do not believe that Atris intended the book to be lost in this manner. Much better to destroy it than to risk the possibility of its falling into unknown hands. Also, had they foreseen the creation of the fissure, they would surely have thought that the vacuum it created would eventually consume the atmosphere of this planet, a fate which Catherine undoubtedly would have deemed unacceptable for her home world. Oh, interesting. So Catherine is native to Riven? I don't think I knew that yet. If I had not been there to supervise the construction of the seal, this is most certainly what would have happened, for the villagers were far too frightened to even approach the vortex without my urging. I hold on to the belief that it was an unintended consequence of their writing, for another reason as well. I prefer to think that my son had meant for this age to be merely a prison for me rather than a death sentence. Okay, so this void that he's talking about. Ooh, and you know what? out of fear of over analyzing things, there are these like he set a cup on the page. Should I take note of which? Oh, I guess there isn't really a word that's right in the middle of it, because there's one over here and that is in the middle. All right, I'm thinking about it too much. All right, hold on. The fabric of this age has been breached in a way that permits matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces. Similar to a link. They threw themselves into the void, and we know that it worked. Alright, well, anyway. May 14th, 83. The construction of the imagers has proceeded without fault. It is interesting to see how easily I've been able to adapt the Denis technology to mimic that of the Ahmad? In some ways, the similarities between the two cultures was striking. I wonder if perhaps there had been communication on or commerce between the two cultures in earlier times. Maybe Kata's people were even descendants of the Denis. It pleases me to think so. This thing. Okay, this imager. Note, it's possible... These cup rings. It's possible if I were somehow able to supply the books with a power source of sufficient magnitude, I could suppress the variance enough to facilitate a solid link. It is doubtful that the geothermal cap generators could provide such an enormous surge. Perhaps I could adapt the fire marbles. I don't recall seeing a fire marble. Again has a drinking problem. I have been cataloging the natural elements of this age for nearly 30 years now, yet still I continue to find evidence of the Denny's preoccupation with 5. As a boy, it was very clear to me that the number 5 had a special significance to the Denny's society. From the ancient heraldic emblems of the ruling elite to the humble homes of the commoners, it was ubiquitous. Its presence here is obviously a direct reflection of the minds that designed the text that I used to compose this age. Further proof that through their art, the Denis masters were indeed creating the marvelous worlds they wrote, and not, as many have mistakenly thought, merely building links to pre-existing worlds. I wonder now, if we had gone back, would there be a whole bunch of 5s in Myst that I didn't notice? While most of my constructions have been based on Denis designs, I see now that the ones that I have imbued with the power of 5 are clearly the most beautiful, the most perfect, and, I believe, the most structurally sound. Ooh. I am still attempting to determine how the Denis color symbology reflects this superior design principle. Although superficially it is based on a 6-color system, I am convinced that there has to be a deeper connection to 5. I will continue to investigate. We see here 3 of these symbols. 1, 2, 3. We've already seen. Just in case, I will jot down the other 3. Horizontal line. Do with a dot. And with a dot. And he said that's color symbology. These aren't colors, though. Oops. 83, 9/11. September 11th, 83, I've finally made a breakthrough. I have succeeded in modifying the fire marbles to generate enough power to hold a descriptive linking book in a stable matrix. I have linked to a new world. It is a harsh and desolate age, but is nonetheless well suited for my purposes. I have designated it my 98th? No. That should be 98th. But he has RD after, like it was something third. I'll write that down and suppose that it should be 98th, according to my understanding. So that may mean if I find something, there will be a password of 98, perhaps. By studying it closely, I believe I will eventually be able to create a more appropriate age for us to resettle on. For now, I will build an office and set up my living quarters there in order that I may conduct my experiments in safety and without distraction. Yes, indeed. I must admit that I am proud of my work. To think that in such primitive conditions I have accomplished in 29 years what it took the original Denis centuries to achieve. Note, repair outerwear for work on this world. Should it be prepare? The goggles may need to be redesigned altogether. Okay. 84. 413. I have begun construction on a series of link sites for each island that will connect Riven to my new office on 98th. The Survey Guild has finally completed the site location for each island. Hang on. I have begun construction on a series of link sites for each island that will connect Riven. A series of link sites for each island that will connect Is that what the... Oh, that's what the maybe the books inside of the domes are? The Survey Guild has finally completed the site location for each island, according to my exact specifications, and installation of the domes is underway at last. Work on the central power source got off to a bit of a bad start, I'm afraid, but the pace has picked up considerably since then, and I anticipate no further delays. I'm looking forward to finally having a civilized mode of transportation. Ooh, and we've seen these before. It's not in the same... It is in the same order. It's in the same order, but rotated. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so all of the domes have the same code, and I know what it is. Due to the rebels' continued disturbances, there are rebels? Interesting. I've decided to install a coded access system into all of the domes. This is huge. Tragically, I do not actually... I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. Well, this is good. This is a lot more fun than not being able to find things. I will puzzle through this in a moment. We know at least one of those is 4. That one is 4. And that one is 5. So it starts 4, 5. That should be 13, maybe? 13, maybe? 13 would make sense. I don't know what to make of the last 2. If it only goes up to 25, that might be 16, and that might be 24. I might find more instruction on the numbering system somewhere else. I don't know. I will try that though. I'll try 4, 5, 13, 16, 24 and see if it works. Where am I? What am I doing? 85, 6, 7. So June 7th, 85. I caught one of my assistants looking over this journal today. I'm glad I've chosen to write it in a language they cannot decipher. Note, discuss security with each guildmaster. No problems expected from the maintainers, educators, and surveyors. Question the bookmakers and builders more closely. Alright, these notes are probably not... I probably don't need these dates, but just in case. October 24th, 86. Today I heard several more reports of spirit sightings by some of the villagers. It seems that under Catherine's leadership, the rebels, or the Black... Moiety? It looks like society, but without an S or a C and an M instead. The Black Moiety. Or Moiety? Whatever. As the villagers obstinately insist on referring to them. Okay. Moiety. Thank you. The Black Moiety, as the villagers obstinately insist on referring to them, have attained a new level of sophistication in their terror tactics and have renewed their campaign to intimidate the villagers into joining them. playing upon their shared superstitions. The villagers are certainly susceptible to this form of coercion, especially given of late the rebels' increasing acts of vandalism and theft. 87. So we're up to the present year now. January 15th. The Etram. Those are the frogs, somebody told me. The Etram traps have been steadily fruitful this year. Apparently, the breakup of the islands has not adversely affected the subterranean ecosystems. Unfortunately, I imagine the rebels are experiencing a similarly generous harvest. No shortage of poison for their darts this season. Such morbid issues aside, the sudden availability has allowed me to refine a particularly pleasant extract for my pipe, one that is smoother than any of the others from recent years. 87, 329. Chemical analysis of one of the rebel knives has yielded curious results. Its composition contains elements that are unlike anything I've encountered on the islands. It appears they have access to a resource of which I'm unaware. Perhaps... Perhaps a mine or an uncharted island. Note, most of the knives have been found on the south side of the village. This is the same area in which there have been reports of people mysteriously disappearing. I think closer inspection of the area is warranted. The fact that they leave these distinctive knives as a sign of their presence concerns me. They're growing more bold and seem to no longer fear discovery of their hideout. A moiety is part of a molecule. So we've seen a huge knife, though. Like the huge thunk. More than one. We've seen more than one. All right, we're dangerously close to the present day, which I've already forgotten what it is. June 27th, 87. The latest measurements indicate that the recent trend has continued. The movement of the islands has slowed tremendously. My previous estimates predicted a total collapse in approximately 3 months, but with the new figures, I am uncertain. Is this the... Atris was working on something, right? He was saying something about, I think Atris is writing in the book, right? The book to Riven. He's the one making these changes to prevent it from completely tearing itself apart. And he said, as long as I keep working on it, I think I can keep it up indefinitely. With the new figures, I am uncertain. I have nearly finished writing the blank age, which should be 99th. Yeah, that's 99th. The other one is 98th. And I have every faith that it will indeed be a safe place for us to relocate to. Yet it would be helpful to know what has caused the halt in this age's breakup. Is it possible that it's stable after all? If so, I must discover how this age differs from my less successful attempts. My examination of the... They're throwing me off with that RD. They're making it sound like this is... No, this is definitely... I'm not fooled. This is 98th. Age have thus far proven inconclusive. Or perhaps someone is... Haha, Atris, I was right. Perhaps someone is repairing the damage to the 5th age. If so, it would almost certainly be Atris' doing. I have reluctantly decided to abandon my experiments into the behavior of the water of this age, as there are more pressing matters on which I must now concentrate, leaving me little time for such speculative research. For future reference, however, my investigations up to this point have revealed the following. I believe the remarkable properties of the water to be caused by a life form that resides in it, specifically a type of bacteria. I know, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but if there's a line through it... If there's no line through it, it's a 3. And if there is a line through it, it should be an 8. Ki with a line through it is 8. Yeah, or not Ki, but arrows and a line, or whatever. 2 diagonals and a line is totally 8. Life form bacteria. I am imagining a motile unicellular organism, but one with structures capable of holding bits of water, whose combined effect, via surface tension, a stronger force, causes the composite body of water to move in response to heat. Prolonged exposure to extreme heat, for example, a period of extended boiling, seems to kill the bacteria, which would explain its dramatic aversion to heat sources. Unfortunately, these theories are still not fully tested, and I remain ignorant both of its deeper nature and its possible uses. Okay. Curious. We've seen a thing where they boil the water, but I thought that just had to do with making paper. It's not 90 anything? Strange. Well, I don't actually want any answers or anything, so I'll figure it out. Oh wait, I'll figure it out, or I won't. 87.76, and I have to check at this point. How close are we? This last entry is July 16th. So this is 10 days ago. 87, right? Yes. An exciting development. Last night, a squad of maintainers stumbled upon a lone rebel scout and obtained from him a most incredible device. It is a crystal that somehow powers these flawed linking books, much as my own system does, but with an obvious advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it completely portable. Catherine must have fabricated the device before I captured her. Obviously, with an explicit Denny schematic she must have brought with her to this age. If only I'd had access to such a document all these years. Regardless, I can now concentrate solely on the writing of ages and no longer need worry about building elaborate power supplies for each new book I write. This is a sobering reminder, however, that I must continue to seek an avenue to Denny. Regaining access to the resources there may be crucial to the completion of my mission. There he says something about the mission again. And that is the final page. No problem. It happens. Oh, more stuff. 728? Okay, so the last journal entry was not necessarily the day that he sent me to Riven. Got it. So this is very recent. This is 728 of 87. Last week, while monitoring the situation of the villagers from the scope in my survey room, I observed one of the natives swim out to a small object that appeared to be floating but anchored near the entrance to the bay. Floating but anchored near the entrance to the bay. I ordered the object removed from the water for inspection. Several days later, however, I was surprised to see another floating there. The missing object had apparently and quite mysteriously been replaced with a new one overnight. I have long been aware of the existence of similar artifacts on the villagers' island, but have paid them little notice until now. Tomorrow I shall send surveyors to catalog the others. And it looks like the spinny eye. So this is the number 1. floating but anchored near the entrance to the bay. Where is that? Wherever that is, whatever noise I hear there, that's the answer to number 1. Also, that guy that we found who was in jail must have been one of the rebel scouts. The rebels are the ones who set up this system, maybe, and that the place where we're eventually going to get, it even has a picture of the knife. That's their hideout, and you need all 5 of these in order to get in. Oh, man. Oh, this is where he, I don't know, dissects the frogs, I guess. Distills drugs from them so that he can smoke them. Pickled frogs, sure. Rocks. Dodecahedron. Very interesting. Okay, so that's the deal with the bacteria he was talking about and the reversion to heat, and that's why he was able to, I guess, build those tunnels or wherever where he can make the water not you know, it just looks weird because there's oh god, what is this? What is this? He's looking at a tree, and it's cracked into 5s. I can't read these. Question mark on this book. Thing, stuff. Torture device, I don't know. No, it's probably just for crushing things. I think that's just a furnace. There's stuff to burn. Okay, so I think we have maybe learned everything we needed to in here, which was a lot. There's like a big-ass knife right here. So the 2 people at the beginning may have been 2 different factions. Like, one of them was one of the natives, and then the other guy who showed up was one of the rebels? Because he had a knife that he jammed into that. That looks weird. I think that's just a mistake, though. Maybe. All right, so we had a lot of questions, tons of questions answered. Simply by closing a door. What do we want to do next? There is that. Do we want to go down here? Sure. One of the things is down here. Alright, so my thought was 24, 16, 13, 5, 4. That was correct. Man, oh man. Now the question is this just going to be tiny, or is this a hub world, and Riven is actually a huge game, and there's going to be... Well, actually, no, wait. It missed the individual worlds weren't that huge. There were a couple puzzles in each one. Oh, I stepped on it. I stepped on it instead of... That's how you close it. And then it seals back up. My bad. Let's do it again. Ooh, all right. So this one seems to be 98, is what I... Despite people saying things and then clearing them, maybe this... As far as I am concerned, seems to be 98. I shouldn't have clicked so quickly. What happened? Oh, it's not powered. It's not powered because I don't have a crystal. Right? They created it, but there's no way in. Very well. It's just that thing. That leads there. That leads there.